All right, without further ado, let's move on to the first sessions of the day. And for our first sessions of the day, we will explore about digital and QR payments accelerating Indonesia's cashless future. And these sessions will be moderated by Mr. Eric C. Listio Suputro, partner from EY-Parthenon Indonesia, Strategy and Transactions. And please welcome our panelists for the first sessions, Ibu Yanti Lawidjaja as the Chief Financial Officer PT Rekso Nasional Food or McDonald's Indonesia, and also Bapak Kelvin Timotius as the head of GoPay Wallet GoTo Group. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our panelists and our moderator to the stage.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So this morning we're starting with a very interesting topic, right? So who doesn't know about cashless payment? And we have traveled. Indonesia has traveled so far from cash to cashless payment, and then we are joined here today by two people from two names that I'm sure that every one of you are familiar with, from McDonald's and GoPay. Just a quick one as well. Anyone here that hasn't eaten McDonald's or hasn't used GoPay before? No. So basically, everyone knows you guys. So that's fine.
That's good.
So thank you very much. I think we are joined here today by Bu Yanti from McDonald's and then Pak Kelvin from GoPay. So on this topic itself, and of course, just want to share that basically opinions shared by them as well doesn't reflect the company, but just to share their understanding on this very, very interesting topic. So I think the first one, just like to understand, right? So this journey, it has started, but at the same time, it actually has gone quite fast in the past couple of years.
Yes.
So from your perspective, how has it actually evolved in the past couple of years?
I'll start for McDonald's. Actually, this July 2016 marks 13 years the cashless journey started in McDonald's. And I'm so happy that our first partner even here from BRI just happens to be here. Halo Pak Singgi. Yeah. So 13 years ago when we decided to go with cashless, saya ingat sekali pertanyaan comment, the one comment I heard the first time was that bayar burger aja mau pakai kartu. That was 13 years ago, right? People still amazed that we pay for burger using cashless, right? So that was 13 years. And then we had to install an EDC that's integrated with POS for security reason. So our EDC is customer facing because we want to educate customer to not just hand over their cards to anyone. So at the time, that time was 13 years ago. I'm not sure if you were born there just yet. Kartu credit was still using a signature. So you can imagine I have to provide pens to every cashier in McDonald's because the customer has to sign for the credit card purchases. That was 13 years ago, Pak. Now, fast forward to now, we accept everything. Debit card, credit card, Brimo, of course, yeah.
GoPay?
GoPay, oh sorry, Pak. On GoPay too, Pak. GoPay, all the QR, our own gift card, employee card, whatever payment that is regulated, then we accept. And then 13 years ago, half of our EDC had no transaction because of the low volume of cashless at the time. Now, 13 years later, some of our EDC have to be settled more than once every day because of the sheer volume of transaction. So cashless has become like part of our operation. Yeah.
So what about from GoPay point of view, and how has your journey been and how you've seen this transformation?
Yeah, I think for GoPay is cashless, right? GoPay and cashless is synonymous basically. So I think, and we have seen across the years how Indonesia evolved and how QR payments becomes one of the most important payments for Indonesia. I think nowadays, if you're in Jakarta, you can just bring your phone. You don't even need to bring your wallet to make payments, I think. And GoPay itself just started in 2016 as a payment method in Gojek. and it literally to also solve cash to cashless problem. But now GoPay, we have our own app, and even our monthly transacting users is more than 27 million that use GoPay every single month. So the adoption of digital payments in Indonesia has been very, very significant. And even we can also see our transactions in McDonald's that started in 2018 until now, it just keeps on increasing. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So I think, Bu Yanti, also you mentioned that a lot of significant amount of transaction is now cashless. So is it actually, why has it become, is now cash really still relevant then,
Yeah.
from your point of view?
Well, still, yeah, because cash is still a legal tender in Indonesia. So obviously, some people are still comfortable using cash. Even we have in McDonald's, we have self-order kiosks that still also provide an option for people to pay cash. Like you order independently and then you go to the cashier to pay by cash. So cashless and cash to me is like convenience for the customer. So both of them are still relevant. And both of them has got opportunities as well. And people ask me about the control side of it. We, as a finance person, we have specific control for cash. We have specific control for cashless. So both of them are merely to provide convenience for our customer. Whatever payment they want to use, whether cash or cashless, we provide for them. Yeah.
Any, well, you've been mostly cashless as well, right? So
You have to.
So pretty much, like you said, synonymous for cashless. So then you are, we can say, one of the pioneer, if not the one of the pioneers, if not the pioneers of the digital payment. So you shared a little bit about how the journey started.
Yeah.
But can you explain a bit more, share a little bit more on how that journey has started? And then maybe deep a little bit, what problems did you see and why is actually GoPay actually being implemented?
Yeah, I think similar like what McDonald's has shared, right? In Gojek, we also have problem from moving cash to cashless.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when you pay your Gojek ride, it's always using cash, right? Before Gojek. And then Gojek comes in, and then you also still pay your food delivery with cash. And we see frictions. Some users, there's issues on paying the drivers or paying the merchants. So we just want to make the experience more seamless. It's not that cash is removed, but there's an option for you to pay cashless, right? And that's where GoPay was born. That was in back in 2016. And then from payment method in Gojek app, we expand to payment method outside of Gojek. There's online payments. Now you can basically pay with GoPay almost in any online merchants. And obviously McDonald's was one of the first, if not the first offline partner, right?
The first.
The
not
first
one of the
offline
first.
partner.
The first.
Yeah, the first offline partner. So the first time you can pay with GoPay outside of Gojek app, offline, is actually in McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we do lots of collaborations and promotions with McDonald's. So then GoPay expanded outside of the Gojek app, and now we have our own app. There is a GoPay standalone app, right? And we did it to expand the reach even further to all of Indonesia. So the GoPay app was first born in Samarinda, actually. So the first city where GoPay app was launched was in Samarinda.
Yeah.
Our team actually went to Samarinda and tried to understand what product fits the Indonesian customers. So now GoPay has gone into having more than 27 million customers.
So then that early partnership is very important, right? So
Yes,
Yes.
in this
absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So
And not only in 2018, even now we are still doing promotions
Yeah.
and improving cashless adoptions.
So then we know in a QR, using the QR as well, there's a transition from a disjointed QR to basically QR system. And how does that actually affect the process itself in terms of cash?
Yeah, actually, I think that was one of the biggest transformation in Indonesia. Because before QRIS, it was not interoperable. So maybe from even from the merchant standpoint, MACD needs to deal with so many different QR providers.
True.
But with QRIS, you just need one QR system for any issuers to pay, right? And customers can use any payment method to pay in the same QR. It also helps from a GoPay point of view because we don't have to acquire the merchants one by one. So it's actually a breakthrough, I think. QRIS is a breakthrough for Indonesia, and the adoption is just so fast.
I think that's good to hear, right? So that process more seamless and easy as well. So, but how is it from the merchant's perspective, right? All of this transition.
Well, any changes in the system, in customer behavior, in the culture, always require preparation, right? It has to, we have to invest in the training. But in McDonald's, we are known for the saying from boardroom to crew room. So whatever that we decide at the head office level has to be fully understood at the ground level. So they are the people that is customer facing, so they need to understand what is our objective. Operationally, because our system is integrated, activating the EDC is merely by pushing a button on the POS. So very seamless. So there is no impact on the operation. We also have very great acquiring partner, like BRI and GoPay. They make everything so seamless. So there is no impact operationally, right? So the most of the training that we have to do actually on what our crew need to respond to the customer, like explaining to the customer what kind of card they can use. What do you do when the customer forgot their PIN? Ya, lupa PIN-nya, lalu EDC yang disalahkan. So how do we respond to that? So when one of the card, for example, got rejected, okay, many customers ask us to actually call the bank, and then we need to educate them. No, the bank will not respond to us. You are the one, is your card, then you are the one who need to respond to the bank. So there are a lot of education that we need to do when it comes to communicating with customer. But to us, cashless is about convenience, right? Convenience for the customer, whatever they want to pay with, they can do it at McDonald's. With convenience comes comfort. With comfort, obviously the sales will flow through naturally. So to me, cashless is not profitability-seeking machine. Cashless is about providing convenience with the customer comfortable at McDonald's, and then the profitability will come from the sales towards that. Yeah.
Okay, so you see, even with the additional cost, that cashless is still beneficial.
Still, yeah. People mention about MDR all the time, right? When it comes to cashless, to me, MDR is the cost of doing business, because a lot of people don't know this, but as a finance person, we know there's a cost for cash handling. There are costs for cash collection. There are costs for providing backup cash, uang kembalian, right? And there are costs of checking, making sure the cash that we receive is not fake note, right? So there are all of those. I mean, compared to MDR, to me, like again, the cost of doing business. So MDR is about relationship with the bank, with our partners, okay? And then most of them is also compensated by the promotion they do at our stores. So that even increase the penetration of cashless, increase the awareness of cashless, also increase the cashless transaction.
The MDR is not that high lah, Bu.
Apa Pak?
MDR is not that high.
Okay. Discuss that offline. Soalnya ada BRI di sini.
Okay. But maybe if I can add a little bit, right? I think so. McDonald's has been very impressive in terms of educating the customers on using digital payments. So whenever we do promotions with McDonald's, the whole store across Indonesia will make TikTok videos. I was in one of the TikTok videos with McDonald's to promote what is the promotions, how to use it, and even people can also top up GoPay in some stores in McDonald's. It's not just about providing the tools or infrastructure, but also educating the customers on how to use it, marketing it. It's also a very important part that I feel McDonald's as a partner doing it better than any other merchant.
Yeah, increasing awareness of cashless. Yeah.
So I think you mentioned that this digital payment actually enabled new experience, new promotion. Anything else? I think one of you is actually mentioning about the promotion, the TikTok and everything as well. Anything else? What has this digital payment actually enables you guys with regards to creating new opportunities?
Well, we are seeing McDonald's open a lot of stores in the tier 2 cities, right? And we see that QR has basically transformed the landscape of payment. So we really want to push cashless because this is something that we do believe in, not just at the corporate level, not at company level, but personally we also believe in cashless. So we partner with GoPay many times at our tier 2 cities to increase adoption of cashless. Yeah, to make sure they know that QR can also be used at McDonald's. So we do education at that level as well.
Yeah, and I think from GoPay point of view, it's not only just digital payments, right? Inside the GoPay app or aplikasi GoPay, you can do transfers, you can pay your bills, you can even buy flight tickets. You can even buy movie tickets, right? There are a lot of things that you can do, and that just makes the experience simpler for the user, and of course with the safety and security that is provided, right? So I think it's moving into making your life simpler and also making it more accessible to a lot more customers.
Yanti, you mentioned about tier 2 cities, right?
Yeah.
Some adoption in tier 2 city. So what is actually driving this broader adoption just beyond, typically we are seeing a lot of this digital in tier 1, but you mentioned tier 2. What actually driving it?
I think mostly like awareness of QR, like not just GoPay, but also many of the QR payment provider also, pushing QR. Like if you go through UMKM, right? There are so many payment methods using static QR. Like people are getting used to using QR for payment, QRIS. So with the QRIS, like I said, really changed the landscape of payment all over Indonesia. So fun facts, whenever I have a family or friends coming from overseas, there are two things I need to brief them wherever they want to travel. Number one, do not drink tap water in Indonesia. It's not safe. Number two, I need to explain to them what is QRIS. Because when they come from overseas, they are not aware of it. But whenever they travel in Indonesia, whenever they want to make a payment, the one thing that is asked of them is that you want to pay by card or by QR or by QRIS, right? So I want to make sure they understand that. So I think we see that more and more all over Indonesia, not just in tier 1 city, in tier 2, tier 3 cities, they are all starting to adopt cashless. Yeah.
I think that's true. Like I said, GoPay app was born in Samarinda, right? And there was a reason, because we wanted to try to serve these customers that is outside of the big cities. I think in big cities, most people are already moving towards cashless, but you'll be surprised on how even in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, QRIS is so prevalent. Transfers is also like using the GoPay app is so prevalent, right? Buying bills and pulsa and so on is also just with a click of your hand, right, inside the GoPay app. So I think, and that's where we want to be, and we want to continue educating the Indonesian customers on how they can use digital payments so that it's more affordable and also easier for them.
Then anything basically, so then ecosystem basically is very important, right? So in terms of the scaling usage. So then looking ahead, what are the next frontiers you believe is actually of digital payments in Indonesia? Maybe we can start from.
Yeah, I think from Bank Indonesia point of view, they keep pushing the QRIS rail. It was starting with QR scan. Now you can already tap to pay with the QRIS rail, right? On retails and even in public transportation. You can actually tap your phone to pay Transjakarta, to pay MRT, for example, right? There is QRIS tap. And also, so definitely that's something that GoPay is also pushing. And a lot of our users are actually adopting that. There will also be things like you can pay with QR, but with multiple sources of fund.
Yes.
For example, in GoPay, we have GoPay Later. You can also use GoPay Later to pay in QR rails. You can even use your credit cards to pay in QR rails as well. So there are a lot more innovations on how we can make payments easier through the QR rails, right? But beyond that, also AI. There's a lot of movement on AI, right? One of the things that we do that is very simple is if you use the GoPay app, you can actually do split bill. So you can scan the receipt, and then we will read the receipt, and then you can split item by item on who eats what. So because when we come to we do user interview, orang suka nggak enakan kalau split bill. It's a problem actually. So we try to solve it through AI technology on reading the receipt, for example. And actually in McDonald's also we promote how to use split bill at a time. So I think the movement towards more innovation, AI-based, more sources of fund, more ways to pay will come.
Kalau dari saya, perhaps what Pak Kelvin already covered everything else. But to me, from a merchant side, whatever innovation that is done by the acquiring and the issuer side, I just want them to be safely and securely integrated at the merchant side. That's all. So we are ready for whatever innovation they have. But again, it has to be securely and safely integrated to our side. So whatever, Pak, we are ready.
Cool, cool. Yeah, safety is priority.
True.
Then how do you see then this customer or user behavior evolve in the next 3 to 5 years?
From merchant perspective, what we hope to see in the next few years is that more and more activation, like what you're saying, right? And there are increased variety of source of fund. You're saying that now we can use credit card, debit cards, savings, or even pay later as source of fund. I want to be able to also increase security features because I don't want the convenience actually override security. Because again, at the end of the day, we want to facilitate cashless, but we want to facilitate it safely enough. That's from the merchant side. From the personal side, as a finance person, I want to make sure any method of payment, any method of spending money has to be equipped with financial education. Karena saya mau cashless bukan hanya represent convenience, but also represent security, but also represent reasonable spending. Karena kita sering mendengarkan kalau kita pakai cashless, nggak kerasa spendingnya. So that's actually pretty scary for me on a personal level. I want people to use cashless, but not reckless. Still reasonable, still responsible. Yeah. So that's my hope for the next few years. Yeah.
Yeah, I think totally aligned. I think in GoPay we keep improving security features. Now you have a facial recognition, for example, that will be triggered before you pay if we see any suspicious transactions. Also, from education's point of view, in GoPay you can have, we have financial management feature.
Yep.
That you can see what are your spending this month and then what will recommend you to spend next month, for example. And then we also have educations on, for example, like Pintar Bareng GoPay that will educate people on how you can spend wisely and how can you use financial products to your benefits, right? And not to be reckless in your spending, right? So I think that's very important. Also, I think continuing educations towards more of the tier 2 and tier 3 cities are very important. We are now opening up more cash in and cash out. So you can actually top up GoPay with cash and tarik tunai GoPay with cash. So I think not many people know that you can actually tarik tunai GoPay. You can cash out, right? Now we are available you can do it in any Alfamart, Indomart that you can find. You can do it in most of ATMs. You can do it in banking agents. And we just want to drive this educations and adoptions to every layer of society.
So thank you. I'm actually learning quite a bit as well of some of the capabilities so that I actually don't know, even for personal use as well. So maybe for a short one, open to 1 or 2 questions if there is from the audience. Right? So any 1 or 2 questions before we go back to maybe some closing remarks?
Sure.
First of all, thanks a lot for insightful, discussion. As Pyrik said, I've also picked up a few things for my personal use. I think question to both Yanti and Kelvin. I think you both talked about safety as one of the very, very important features. So, and in current scenario, there are a lot of cases of fraud on online which is happening. So how are you kind of dealing with, are there any specific actions you have taken which helps you to avoid the fraud and recover the money quickly?
Thank you, Pak. So I think we take security and anti-fraud very seriously. So like I mentioned, one of the, for example, feature that we have is, so if we detect a new device login, for example, on GoPay, you cannot open your GoPay app on a new device without PIN is one. But even if we see very high propensity of fraud, we will trigger enforce facial recognition. So you might have given away your PIN, for example, sometimes for social engineering, right? But you cannot copy the face. So we will enforce facial recognition because most of our users are already KYC'd. So we technically can trigger facial recognition based on their ID, right? That's one of the example. We continue educating on how you need to protect yourself from giving away your PIN, your OTP, and so on. We also have a new feature that we are developing on, for example, if you are on a call, because usually phishing is on a call, right? And then you try to open your app, your GoPay app. We will then tell you that, hey, you are on a call, so be careful, right? Because usually phishing comes through a call and then maybe you give away your OTP or you are doing a transfers when you are on a call. So we just want to make sure that they are conscious when they are doing it. So even I think we are educating them, but also we are trying to protect the customer in the background through whatever activities that we think is high suspicious.
We provide a lot of security on our online transaction as well because, again, most of our global counterparts, they don't use OTP for the online transaction, but we make sure whenever people do transaction on our make delivery side, we require OTP. We also work with our acquiring banks, like we make sure if there is the card that is being used more than 3 times in one day at McDonald's for above certain rupiah, we make sure it is blocked for further investigation. Just to provide those little bit of security. But then again, people will say, you know, if you steal a credit card, why would you want to spend it at McDonald's? You might as well go to Louis Vuitton and spend it there. But again, for us, it's more about security. You know, providing that comfort. Again, convenience equal security. Yeah.
I like McDonald's though. Maybe I will do it in.
You will still credit card spend on McDonald's, yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
So maybe one more question, if there's any.
Thank you. I'm Henrico from BNP Paribas. Currently in the world, we have basically two types of digital payment. One is tap to pay and one is QR. Which one that you think in like 2045, Indonesia digital payment will go to? Like, are we choosing QR, tap to pay, or both hand in hand? And if we are choosing tap to pay, how can we compete with like Visa and Mastercard that already have a pay wave, tap to pay currently? Thank you.
This question mostly for GoPay.
Maybe let me take that question first. Thank you. Very good question. I think the answer would be it will be complementary, right? I don't think one system will completely change the other or take over the other. I'll give you an example, and this is also will answer the question on Visa and Mastercard. Like I think I brought it up in the beginning on QRIS Tap. So Bank Indonesia has its own product called QRIS Tap, and QRIS Tap is on QRIS rail, right? It doesn't sit on the Visa or Mastercard rail. Although the adoption maybe in retail it's still arguable whether it can be improved, but you can technically already tap your phone and pay with QRIS on retail stores, right? But the biggest adoption that we see is actually on transportation, where you can take MRT and then you can just tap your phone, tap in and tap out. Maybe if you have never tried it, I encourage you to take MRT or maybe KCI, Kereta Api, or even Transjakarta, right? Use your GoPay app and then try tap in and tap out. It works, actually, it works. But still, there are people who still pay with your normal e-money card, right? Not your debit card, but your e-money card for transportation, and it coexists, right? There's also still some problem on tap to pay in which your phone needs to be NFC enabled. So not all phones are NFC enabled, right? So it inhibits a little bit of the adoption. But if I see to the future, I think the QRIS scanning will be there, tap to pay will be there, tap your card will be there, even cash I think will still be there, right? I think it's just complementary on different use cases and different preference of the users. Yeah, maybe Yanti, you want to add?
No, same with you.
So, thank you. So I think definitely we're seeing that we are on a really exciting journey. So any quick 1 or 2 thoughts before we close the sessions?
Well, again, from merchant side, we are ready for cashless. We want to be your first stop when it comes to cashless innovation. We welcome any cashless innovation. We welcome any advancement. But again, to us, Cashless is it's about convenience to the customer. And again, my message always the same: convenience, security, responsibility. That's it.
I think if we look in 2045, right? I believe that Indonesia is actually doing pretty well even now on digital payments adoption.
True.
I think QRIS and QR payments in Indonesia is probably ahead compared to most countries. You can even now use your GoPay or QR payments outside of Indonesia, right? You can pay in Singapore, you can pay in Thailand already. And it will keep on evolving, right?
Yep.
So I'm quite hopeful that digital payments adoptions will just continue to rise. And I think in GoPay, we believe that it's our job also to educate every layer of the society. That's why we go to the tier 2, tier 3 cities, and also ensuring that the digital payments, while seamless, is being used responsibly and safely.
So thank you, Bu Yanti. Thank you, Pak Kelvin, for your sharing of this exciting shares. And looking forward to 2045.
Well, I have to say thank you to Pak Eric, because Pak Eric actually is stand-in moderator because our moderator cannot be here. So we only met him, we only spoke to him like 5 minutes beforehand. So I appreciate you very much, Pak Eric. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.